Jerry Mason, Kickin lawyer. Why do innocent people plea? Couple of reasons that I want to talk about. I have a lot of clients that honestly and sometimes unfortunately, because they plea, I think they were actually innocent, that they actually did not do the crime they're accused of. So why do they still decide to plea? Well, one thing I have to do is lay all the risks out to the client. And so if you have a client that's charged with a significant crime, or sometimes it's not even a super significant crime, but it's got some penalties that the client doesn't want to deal with, like jail time or license suspensions or probation or whatever, sometimes the client feels like the risk is too great. Okay, yeah, the case is weak against them, but there is some form of evidence, right? Somebody's lying on them or whatever it is. And instead of taking the risk of rolling the dice at a trial or hearing or whatever phase of litigation they're in, they decide they just want to cut their losses and take whatever negotiated agreement that we're able to come with. And so, for example, sometimes they're facing prison time. So I may be able to negotiate a plea agreement where they plead to some offense, they're on probation, but they don't have to go to prison. For a lot of people, that's a big deal. Sometimes it reduces the risk of a felony. Sometimes they're charged with a felony offense, and I can get it negotiated to a misdemeanor offense, and they're like, well, we lock in at least a misdemeanor, we've avoided a felony conviction. So there's a lot of things that weigh into when clients will take a plea. One other thing is sometimes jail time. Sometimes the indigent clients that I represent, because I get appointed to clients that can't afford a lawyer sometimes, and if there's a conflict with the public defender's office, they appoint private counsel, and I'm one of those guys. And I fight those cases just like we would any case. But if that client has done 150 days in jail because they can't afford to make the $10,000 bond or $1,000 bond that's set on them, they've been sitting there all this time, they may again be innocent of the offense, but they've already done jail time, so they just want to get out of jail. And their fastest and best way to do that may be to take a plea. So I'll do another video on sort of the ethics of that for me as an attorney, but that's a little insight into why innocent people plea.